What's up, guys? Your favorite player one, Richard, back in Collierville, Tennessee to do another bourbon hunt. Now, this one is extremely special because this is my store. Whenever I go hunting, this is where I come looking for allocated items, new and rare, hard to find things. I just absolutely love this liquor store. The employees are incredibly helpful. They are very knowledgeable about all of the products that they sell here. Absolutely love this store. So I can't wait to show you what's inside. Let's go. All right, we're gonna start our video off a little bit different than our normal videos, and that is by looking at their allocated items. And you can see right in front of me a pretty good reason as to why. It's because they are one of the few stores in the area that carry Pursuit. Now, also, you'll notice beside the Pursuit bottles that they have a couple of really cool short barrels. So starting over here on my left, we have the Double Oaked series from Short Barrel. It's coming in at 118 proof for that $89.99. They have the Takai finished rye, $96.99, one of the cheaper prices that I've seen in the area. Now, I've been looking for this one. I have not seen this in any of the stores in my area, and that is the Pursuit Triple Mash Bourbon Barrel Proof. Now, I've seen some of the rye, but not any of the bourbon, and this is pretty much on par with what you would find in other area stores. Now, my personal favorite out of the Pursuit lineup, at least that I've had so far, is this Double Oak Bourbon. $69.99, 108 proof. This one tastes like butterscotch with just the faintest hint of some oak there. I could drink this one all day. And my next favorite is going to be this Twice Toasted. Now, this is a highly allocated item, $69.99. Can't beat that price. Now, a couple of other ones that I have not seen or heard of before are right here next to it. These appear to be something called off hours. Now, they have the single barrel bourbon and the rye. The bourbon is coming in at, it looks like, 105 proof for $64.99, and then right next to it is $39.99 for their rye. So right below it is a couple more of their allocated items. F Cancer, of course. That cigar rye, one of the better prices. I believe when it first came out, it was $99.99, $91.99 here. So if you're wanting to get batch one of that Cigar Sessions from Penelope, they have you covered here at Cheers. Now, another one that piques my interest was going to be this Knob Creek Blenders Edition #1. Now, we featured this when we were over at the station. I believe their cost was a little bit higher than what we're seeing here at Cheers, $44.99 for that one. Now, if you need yourself some Elijah Craig, they have that here as well. Barrel proof, this is A125, 118.2 proof for about $90. My favorite things about this store is they actually have just a little bit of everything. So up here on this top shelf, they have several of the Widow Jane lineup, but we featured those before. We have your Dancing Panda. Now, I did have a barrel. I am not typically a barrel fan, but they did a pick last year, and it was absolutely stunning. I went through that bottle relatively quickly. It reminded me of like confectioner sugar. I will definitely be looking out for a future store pick if they have one from Barrel. Now, they do have a single barrel pick of Angel's Envy. I know that they're out there, but I haven't come across too many of them. This one is called Apricot Punch, coming in at 110 proof. Still tempted to get this Jefferson's Reserve. This is their cask strength, coming in at 130. That's a pretty good proof, and $70, that's hard to beat. Now, we featured Castle and Key before. They do have some of their just regular lineup. The one that I haven't seen is going to be this cask strength wheated. That is 108.2 proof for $60. Now, when I said they have a little bit of everything, They don't have the full lineup, but they do have one of my personal favorites of Larrikin. This is the light American light whiskey. It's 143.6 proof for $100. This one I've had a sample from my good friend Off Topic Whiskey, Randall over there. Absolutely amazing. Now, if you're looking for a double oak, then they happen to have one here. I've not heard positive reviews of it, but you know, to each their own. But if you're looking for one, they have you covered here. Now, they do have some Willet purple tops, green tops, but the one that you're probably going to be interested in is going to be this green top. Now, this comes in, it is a 12-year, 122.8 proof. Now, it does have a steep price tag, but again, this is pretty much on par with what you're going to be paying everywhere else, and that is right around $500. Again, they have quite the selection here, a little bit of everything that you may want. Now, one thing that I did want to point out is the short barrel. Now, we're starting to see more of that in the area, and they did a store pick, I believe it was a 9-year bourbon last year. That thing went off shelves relatively quickly, and I've heard that they're actually getting a really cool short barrel pick coming in the future. I don't know if I'm allowed to disclose what it is, but trust me, if you like short barrel, you're going to probably want to keep an eye out for what they have here at Cheers. I've seen this at many stores, don't really know much about it. I probably need to look into what exactly Town Branch is. But the one I wanted to show you are these makers. Now, we've featured the Cask Strength 7-year, but I've seen this one before and just have never really picked it up. I'm definitely interested in it. It is that French Oak Makers 46, 112.5 proof for $70. Now, these have been sitting on shelves everywhere. The Keeper's Release 2025, I believe they just released the 2026 edition. I've heard some okay reviews coming out so far, but we'll have to see. I don't have this bottle. I don't know that I should pick it up, but maybe that 2026 will be something that I'm going to get. Now, down here at the bottom, only the second store that I have seen in this area that has the 100 proof Sazerac rye. Still looking for that full proof 124 or 125 proof, but this liter is coming in at $34.99. Now, we'll just point this out just because I've never seen it before. The High Wing Honey Rye Whiskey, $14.99. Says rye whiskey with natural flavors, honey. 35 proof, so that's, 35% alcohol, so 70 proof. I do love a good honey finish. It says produced by Sazerac. Might be something worth trying in the future. There's a couple other things we have up here. Paul Sutton, this is a limited release heritage collection. I've seen this before, but I've never really dug deep into what exactly Paul Sutton is. 8-year cask strength, $86.99. Definitely love this little metal thing here on the front. Nice little leather neck tag there. Might be something worth checking out. If you've heard of it before, if it's something worth getting, let me know down in the comments. Now, I told you that they have just a variety of things. The Milam and Green, don't really see that too often in the area. Don't know about this one either. I know I've seen this name before. I guess that's Riggers. $59.99 for their bottled and bond. Says fall of 2016 to fall of 2022. So that's 6-year age statement. Again, non-chilled filtered. Plenty of your 10 cup, 14 year, $69.99. Never seen this canister. If I have Don't really recall. I had a friend years ago that was his whiskey of choice, was Tin Cup. Now another one that I see down here that's really special, the first one I've seen in this area, is a Heaven and Hill Bottled and Bond store pick. Now I mentioned that there was another store in the area that was supposed to get one, but this is the first one I've seen bottled and on shelves. Rickhouse W5, floor 3, barrel 804-8406. Let's see if it has any other information on it. You need you some Four Roses, Private Select. Ooh, okay. OESO, my favorite of the different yeast strains and mash bills. 56.7. So what is that? 112, 113 proof. I might have to grab this one too, but they also have plenty of your standard offering Four Roses. So another one, again, there's all sorts of things. It's been a minute since I've been in this store, but like I said, they have lots of things, a little bit of everything. I've never seen this Hazel Baker Reserve Rye. Now, I'm familiar with the company, but again, never seen this really cool green label. Reminds me a little bit of like the Green Goblin or like the Incredible Hulk, but $42.99, 100 proof Reserve Rye. This has to be one of my favorite sections of the store because this is a whole wall dedicated to Tennessee whiskey. Now, some stores have sections that have part of it dedicated to Tennessee, but this whole wall is all Tennessee whiskey. Now, they do have that Heritage Toasted that you've been seeing more and more of. I believe it is supposed to be an average, just a shelfer. My personal favorite up here, Old Dominic. That cast strength, again, you can't beat that. 119.09 proof, 6 years for $48.99. If you're still out on the hunt for those distillery series from Jack Daniels, they got 2 of them here. That's Sweet Mash here, and then hidden behind is that table syrup. I think out of the 2, probably the Sweet Mash would be my favorite. That table syrup wasn't too bad, but didn't have all the sweetness that I was looking for. $45 for either one of those. Uncle Nearest, we're not going to talk about them, but 3 Chords Allman Brothers Band. I've heard of 3 Chords before. I know that they tend to do things with different bands and stuff. This is a part of their backstage series for 107 proof. $200. Now, I have a friend that was asking about the Leaper's Fork M-Town Brown Volume 2. So my buddy Wesley, if you're looking for it, they have it here at Cheers for $94.99. And of course, we can't forget about Blue Note. Now, I've heard great things about last year's Special Reserve. I did get to try this year's. It is a lot cheaper than last year's as far as cost goes, and I've heard equally as good. So if you're looking for the 2025 Special Reserve Blue Note, they have it here for $209.99. Although there is no whiskey on the bar yet, this is their tasting bar. Usually when they get allocated items, they will have this whole section covered with different things. Picked up many allocated bottles from here. Hopefully, once they start carrying a little bit more of the Pursuit, you might see yours truly here doing a tasting. Now, as I mentioned, this is my favorite store, and this is another one of my favorite sections. Now, it's looking a little sparse right now, but I do know that they have been out and doing plenty of barrel picks. Usually summertime is going to be when we start to see more of them. They have plenty of your Heaven and Hill Bottled and Bond. Both of my single barrel Jack Daniels that I've picked up were from here, both phenomenal. I had a Tennessee whiskey last year from here. Store pick was 132, 136 proof. Did not drink like it at all. I flew through that. This one right here was aged for 5 months, 5 years, 4 months, and at 128.9 proof. And then of course they have their Larceny 127.6 proof 7-year age statement. Now, if you're on the hunt for some American single malt, they do have a few to pick from. This one is relatively new, mesquite smoked malt from Bullet. I'd be interested to know how that turns out. I did just do a review of Whiskey Del Box Dorado, which that truly is a mesquite malted whiskey from a really cool company. I'm happy that they have Stranahan's here because I'm getting kind of low, and I know of where I can come and get a bottle. So wouldn't you know it, I totally forgot to include the bottle that was the whole reason I was at Cheers in the first place. That was none other than a rare character product called Hearst Knoll. It is a Kentucky straight rye whiskey, 7-year age statement, and a proof point of 101. Now, of course, since I forgot to include it, I didn't catch the price point. Nevertheless, with it being a rare character product, I'm pretty sure that it is going to taste phenomenal. So if it's something that you're interested in, Cheers has got you covered. Go check it out. All right, guys. Well, I certainly hope that you enjoyed Cheers as much as I do. Like I mentioned before, this is what I consider to be my store. If I'm looking for anything new, different, fun, this is where I come to. And it really helps that they have a friendly and knowledgeable staff. So if you're ever in Collierville, please make sure that you check out my personal favorite store, Cheers Wine and Spirits. Now, you know that we always buy a bottle as a way of saying thank you to the store. And this one was not hard. In fact, unfortunately, I bought 2 bottles. So the first one that I ended up purchasing because of the price, which I believe is pretty close to MSRP, is this Knob Creek's Blender Edition #1. When I read the description at the station, it leans a little bit more towards the sweeter vanilla side. I knew that I wanted to get it and the price was right here. Now, the next one that I ended up picking up was one that I haven't seen in any stores in my area, at least not yet, hopefully coming soon, and that is Pursuit Barrel Proof Triple Mash Bourbon, coming in at 120.6 proof. Now, I've had the rye barrel proof, phenomenal. So I would imagine that this triple mash bourbon is going to be equally as good. All right, guys. Well, I certainly appreciate you sticking until the end. Thank you as always. I'm your favorite player one, Richard. Have a good one.